Right, well welcome to yet another episode of We've Gone Fishing. Not just any one, but a very special episode. I'm here in France on a top fishery in Limoges called Top Carp France. I've been here since last night. We set up in a swim, we've had all the rods out, but last night was a bit of a rush. Got the rods out, I cracked off twice sadly. But yeah, we've got all the spots established now, and the plan today is to go out and put some bait out and get the rigs down properly. I just flicked them out last night just to get a rod in the water and just see if I could get anything. Not much happened. I had a few liners, but the plan today is to go a bit more all out on it and see if we can get some more. So without further ado, I'm going to get the bait out and get the rods out, and I'm sure I'll be back to you soon with some rigs and some shots of the lake because it is a stunning place. Right, well last night finally resulted in something. A lovely 26 pound mirror. You're probably looking at photos now. Last night they were all over us in the bay to our side here, which is within our water, over in front of us and all over sort of near the bay that I told you about yesterday that they were topping over. They actually came out last night. I suppose it's their second night with no bait, them being in that corner, so I suppose they came out for a feed. It was nice fish, it was really nice, there's a lot of fish, a lot of movement. I didn't catch anything else. Sadly there was fish over my spots, but nothing else happened. So I think today I'm slowly learning, getting the gist of things. It's completely different to English fishing. I think today I'm going to put in a bit more bait, sort of 2 to 3 key over each spot. I did get done by crayfish last night, so the plan is to harden my baits out in the sun, the maize hook baits, and hopefully I won't get pestered by them. I'm also putting some plastic bait down the side there, plastic pop-up corn, just over a bed of maize and particle. There's a bit of hemp in there as well, so it's kind of a mixture, and I think that hopefully we'll be getting some more. If they're going to keep moving out like that, they were topping out to our left as well this morning, just sort of 30-40 yards out, so they're definitely moving about and there's definitely more chance we could get one. Hopefully as the week goes on we can show you how it progresses and how I get on. Talk to you also a bit about the lake and the stocking rate, because there's some phenomenal fish in there. And also our approach. Slightly different to English fishing. I'm sure it can help you, and I'm sure it can help you if you come out on your first time here, because I'm certainly having a bit of an eye opener. So I think it's going to be good, and I think we should get back to you soon, and hopefully with fish or whatever. Let's hope for the best. Well, here's my first fish of France trip 2011, and I can't believe it. 54.5 pound PB. I can't lift it up anymore, yeah. I can't lift it up anymore because it's so heavy, but you got some photos, you have a look at them, but stunning. I have to put them down. Go on fishing.
Yeah.
Got them down.
Should we say a negreloube 50?
Yeah. I'm beast.
I think he's a happy man, this one.
Negreloube beast. Can't have fish.
Early in the morning, but what a happy man. Worked hard. Superb.
Well, second fish of the night for me. After my PB there. 32.5. What a stunner. Dad's just had a 26. His new PB, so what a pack of night fishing. It's been hot, it's been in bad conditions, but we seem to be turning it around. Spot on, go on fishing. Okay, so last night's probably gather was pretty crazy. There's a lot on the action now. We've got 3 rods in from last night still, and I'm pretty tired. Got up pretty late in the day. So what I thought I'd do is just take you through my baiting approach, my rigs, and basically how I'm catching these fish. I know that coming over to France is quite a big step. Certainly was for me. This is my first time. I didn't know a lot about how to approach this sort of thing. So what I've done is I spoke to the manager who's on site, and that's probably the best advice I can give you, is to speak to the manager, because he's going to know what he's on about. He spends all the time on the bank, and it just makes sense. And the advice he's given me has paid off. What he said was to use a mix of particles, so maize and hemp, which he cooks up on site, and spread it out a good amount of bait. He gave me a rough idea where to go, and I've been spotting it out, and I've been putting a good amount of bait out. I've been using maize as hook baits, and that's what seems to be doing it. So let's have a look at the rigs and the presentation, because I think it's working. I've had a couple of nice fish, so let's have a look. So basically, rig number 1, the particle rig,
They pride themselves on fish safety, rig safety. So basically, they like the lead-free running. So what it is I've got a size 6 Nash fang twister there, rig down the hook, rig ring down the shank of the hook, bit of shrink tubing, reasonable hair with 3 bits of maize on the hook. This is Nash missing link, 15-pound braid. It's a coated braid, so I've stripped back a bit, just above the hook to allow movement. You've got an 8-tangle sleeve, a quick link, ring swivel, going down to one of the cordless safe zone leaders, which are absolutely brilliant. Really good for line concealment, especially in waters like this where they're quite sort of finicky around lines. Then we've got a 3-ounce inline lead. We all know the hooking potential of inline leads, they're phenomenal, and I've been getting really good hook holds, bottom lip, inch back. So I'm just having it like that. It allows a lot of movement and whatever, and it's a great little presentation. And then that's just running up safe zone leader there. It's got a couple of bits of tungsten putty already moulded into it, so it's a really good, sinks nicely, really supple material, perfect for concealing your lines. And all I'm doing then, I'm not putting any bag out with this because I've put sort of 3 key out over a spot a day or more, and I'm just putting a couple of bits of dissolving PVA foam around the hook just to straighten the rig out and get perfect presentation, because these rigs are sitting out there for a long period of time. So what we do now is just have a look at the boilie presentation, which actually bagged us a fish last night, the first fish, and it was actually on the mixture of Hinder's crayberry, which I've got here, real nice fish mealy boilie, 18mm, quite a big bait, quite a strong bait, and also their own house bait, which is kind of a fruity smelling flowery bait, in 15mm, and the hook, that's what I call it on the hook bait. Really nice boilie, strong smelling, perfect bait, and obviously they've been fed on it. So there's nothing wrong with using the house bait. It's a brilliant bait. A lot of people against it, they've got their own boilies, their own ideas, but seriously, take that into consideration when you come to France. Use their own baits, they've been fed up on it. So the rig that we use with that, pretty standard for me, actually kind of similar to English fishing, just stepped up tackle. Yet again, we've got the safe zone leader, this time in clay, because we're fishing to sort of a clay silty spot, so I wanted a darker colour safe zone leader to blend in. Leg clip system, just so that it runs free, and also, you know, if a fish gets snagged up, the leg can drop as well. I've got the tail rubber pushed on quite hard there, but it's running off the swivel, and if I have a crack off or whatever, the leg can run off the end of the leader. Then coming down to the same system, size 8/4 ring swivel, down to a quick link there, anti-tangle sleeve, and then we've got 18-pound there, Supernatural, really flexible braid, nice braid as well. Then we've got, same again, size 6 Nash fang twister, a phenomenal hook, really strong. You know, you need strong hooks for over here. And then rig ring, bit of shrink tubing, and then the house bait just top, just cut in half, and then Hinder's beetling pop up on top, just cut in half as well. So it's just sitting nice and lightly, yeah, just sort of wafting about there, really nice. And yeah, it's a pucker little thing. Those are the pops there. They do it for me in England as well. And yeah, they just pucker little baits. There's no harm in coming out to France, mixing and matching your baits with the baits that work here as well. You know, but certainly take advice from the people that know what they're on about, because you know every water's different, and the people that spend the most time on site are really clued up on what works here. And as you can see, the results are pretty good. You know, it's hot weather conditions. We're going up to sort of high mid-30s in a day. Really not good fishing weather, and yet we're still catching a good amount of fish. You know, I had that lump last night with 54 something. We still haven't worked out what the exact weight was, but you know, still a pucker fish, a 32.5. Dallo's PB of 26, and last night was the first night I really kicked off. And all I was doing was continually baiting over the spots. A couple of spots weren't going. The spot that I had my 54 off there wasn't going. I didn't have a fish off that before. I kept baiting. I thought, you know, keep going. It's got to pay off at some point. We have fish all round the bay last night, just to my left here, all around there, all over us. And yeah, it was about time that rod went, and it did in the end. So absolute pucker. And the other rod, left-hand rod, is out to the marker behind me, and that's been sat there. That's been doing the fish consistently every night. And bite time is down to almost, you know, within a gap of 10 minutes. Sort of 2:45 is when it goes, because that's when the water starts to cool down. And that's the thing, is establishing a time where you can bait up, and a time that you know what bite time is, and you can be ready for it. Because I'm getting my rigs out at 6, I'm baiting up over the top, I'm finished by sort of 7:30, 8, and then they're bedded down, and by 3 o'clock we're ready to rock. and the right end rod of the one over there is a bally rod, and that's off to the side, and that's just fishing with that snowman rig, and it's just got a couple of baits scattered around it. Not much, no need to commit a lot of bait. Ballies are filling, you know, I'm only putting out, say, half a key over the spot. I started off putting more in at first, and now I've relaxed and I've put in half a key over the spot, and that's what went yesterday. So not big baits, bit of an eye opener for me. I mean, I'm also putting a PVA bag of Hinder's pellets, big bite pellets, specifically designed for France. You've got a mixture of really big mill pellets, sort of, I don't know, 15-20 mil pellets. You've got hemp powder pellets, you've got carp protein pellets, sort of 7-8 mil, and all I'm doing is putting that in a bag with a bit of boilie crumb. And as simple as that, just a little bag. You know, you don't need to go over the top in France. Yeah, they're big fish, they do need a lot of bait, especially on particle, fill them up in particle, but you don't need to go over the top. That's my key tips. I think what we're going to do now, we've got the rods in, I think we're going to walk around, show you the facilities got on site, because they are phenomenal, and have a look at this beautiful lake, because really it's beautiful. So let's get going with that.
Right, so here we are in one of the swims nearest to the lodge, and what I thought I'd do is just talk about the layout, because it's quite different to usual lakes. Basically, you've got 4 swims on a lake. For example, this is peg 1 and 2 here. This is a double swim, so in each peg you can get 2 anglers, apart from peg 3. So that's 4 pegs. You've got 3 double pegs, 1 single peg, and the lake is divided into 4. You've got markers running down the middle. You know, it's not obsessive markers, and they're nice, they're not too bright, you know, not going to ruin your view or whatever. And therefore you have a huge amount of water to each swim. You've got, I think the owner James was saying to me that you've got over 2 acres each to each swim, and everything has, you know, every swim has a good contrast. You've got the shells. In this swim, for example, to the left you've got the island, to the back you've got the snags running around, you've got open water, you know, you've got a hell of a long cast and everything. You've got absolutely everything. In our swim, for example, we've got the bay, we've got the deeper water, we've got everything you could possibly need in any swim. So there really is no worry about what swim you set up in. The fish circulate a lot, and at the minute they're moving about, they're up there, they're down here, and they're in every swim really, and they really are comfortable swims, as you can see. This one's right next to the lodge, it's perfect for, you know, the angler who wants to be more of a comfortable angler. You've got facilities right there, which we'll show you in a minute. And yeah, you've got gravel swims, not a problem. And yeah, it's just really pucker. You've got no trees obscuring your casting. You've got a beautiful view from each swim. The trees surrounding each swim. Really is what more could you want from a swim? So I think what we'll do now, show the facilities that you've got on site. Yeah, show you that. Awesome. So what I thought I'd do now is the heat of the day. There's a lot on the action. I thought I'd just show you around the top facilities they got here at Top Carp France. Really everything you need and more for the week. So let's have a look, follow me around. I'll show you firstly to the showers. This is the main unit where you've got everything, your showers, your toilet. Around here you've got an absolutely lovely shower, I mean it is. I'd say one of the best showers I've had probably. It's just in here. So basically you've got your hot cold water, your shampoos and whatever if you really forget something, mirror, you've got places to hang your clothes and whatever in there and things like that. Your light as well, so you can use it in the middle of the night like I did. I used it, you know, for in the middle of the night about 50, I used it, so spot on really. You can use it whenever you like. Need be if you get in the water or something, you're a real trophy.